let's talk about the Warriors and the Kings. This was a hell of a series.
Oh.
And it went to game 7, and man, Curry was just fantastic.
Steph Curry equals 50 points. That's a great headline. Sacramento had a phenomenal season. You know, at the end, fans didn't want to leave the arena, even though they got run out of the arena by Golden State, 7th and final game. You know, it's interesting to me when you look back, bleary-eyed as we are, we all watched a lot of hoops. The young teams that got there went through a tough learning curve. And I think this has never been driven home more than what just happened. The guys that didn't get to go to the second round, you have to learn how to win in postseason, because I just think it's a different venue, John.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's the critical equation. Sacramento's kids really played well, but then the last game, De'Aaron Fox just disappeared. Now, I don't know whether he got defended out of that game or whether he was just so fatigued because he had carried so much of the offense for a whole period of time. And Sacramento's big men disappeared and Sabonis fell apart. You just have to learn how to play in the second season, postseason. And I guarantee you, they'll keep this team together. Sacramento will be better next year for what they just experienced and almost accomplished this year. And you can say the same thing for Memphis. Last time I looked, Memphis lost by 40 in the final game to the Lakers. I mean, they got stomped. Injuries had a piece of the equation to do with that, but Memphis has to learn. Cleveland with Mobley and Garland and all those young guys, they got there. They got taken out pretty quickly. You got to be able to cope with the ups and downs and the surges and the eruptions when you're in postseason play, because it is different than playing on a Tuesday night in November. So I think each of those teams that got taken out is probably going to learn an awful lot along the way. And obviously, injuries played into the equation too. We saw more significant injuries in the first round of this tournament in the playoffs than I think we'd seen in a long time. But Golden State's not done yet. They get the chance to play another series starting on Tuesday night against LA.
It's going to be a good one. I mean, so wasn't it amazing how the Kings went into San Francisco and beat them on game 6? The Warriors just laid an egg. And then you figured, oh, they're going back to Sacramento. The Kings maybe have a momentum, and then it flipped the other way. So it just kind of goes to show you, for some of these NBA teams, like the Lakers, like the Warriors, it's almost like the seed number doesn't matter. If you're a 6 or a 7, you just want to get into the tournament. And if you've got experience and you've got, like you say, that postseason, skill, then you're going to go deep in these tournaments.
I tend to think Sacramento was really out of gas in that final game. They just didn't look like the same team. I'll say this about Golden State. I mean, they're really good at home, so I was kind of surprised that they got punched in the mouth in game 6 at home, and they're not good on the road, and yet they went in and just steamrolled, took Sacramento physically and emotionally out of that basketball game. Okay,
well, how about Looney? Wasn't he awesome? I mean, on the boards, I mean, you could say he had almost like a triple-double, because he had double-digit points, double-digit offensive rebounds, and double-digit defensive rebounds.
21 boards in all.
I mean, that was incredible.
And he was one of the reasons Sacramento's big men, led by Sabonis, just disappeared.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a phenomenal, consummate, come together at the right time team win for an experienced team. And I think that's the big difference as to why Golden State plays Tuesday. Sacramento will be home watching it on TV. But take nothing away from what Mike Brown accomplished with the Warriors.
Agreed.